Alright, hello Duelist, Tombox
And Oscar?
here from MST.TV, and today we have a game for you that's a proxy game. So we have Oscar on the left playing Nekroz, and I'm playing Proxy Majespecters on the right.
Yeah, something important to know here is that he's actually playing a released Majespecter, but with the Master of Pendulum Magician cards. So cards like Pendulum Call will be seen in this deck.
And I am not running things that are not guaranteed to be in TCG, so there is no Insight Magicians or Pendulum Wizard.
Yeah, those cards definitely help the deck or any Pendulum deck a lot, but they won't be seen here, unfortunately.
Yeah, so this is more or less the December variant of Majespecters. In my build, I'm not running Crow, I am not running Cat. Yeah, because I don't think those cards are very good.
Yeah, and the Nekroz build is fairly standard, and it looks like we dice roll, and I choose to go first. The most important thing in this matchup is to actually keep big beaters on the board. You want to be able to hold board pressure, and because all the Majespecters are really small, you can just run them over. And then once their extra deck is developed, you want to keep Unicorn on the board, and Unicorn will negate their effects, so he's essentially just summoning nothing. That's really important in this matchup, and you'll watch me here. You'll watch me summon really big monsters like Decisive Armor or Valk and just leave them on the board.
So starting off with a Senju and a Rhoda. Senju is adding, well, supposedly it's adding Chrysalis here.
Yeah, there's a small error here, a procedural error that we noticed. I think Tombox points it out really
right
shortly.
now.
Yeah, right now. I didn't send the Chrysalis. That was an accident. Doesn't matter much because I don't play Chrysalis again this turn.
Yeah, it's a minor procedural error, but it's fixed, so it's whatever. Moving on, so you get a search off of the Shrit right now, and what would you add right now?
So I'm going to be adding Trishula. So cards like Trishula and Gagnier are again really important in this matchup. You want to keep them in your hand. You actually don't want to summon them. You want to keep Trishula in your hand so that you can protect your big monsters from being removed.
So you just drew an Emptiness and a Decisive Armor using your Exa. That's a pretty terrible draw.
Oddly unfortunate. That's pretty much my middle name at this point. I drew the Decisive Armor. It's weird, but I'll have to live with it.
Well, so I top decked a Skullcrabat. So this is one of the cards from Masters of Pendulum. It's one of the best search alts. The Stratos for Odd Eyes, Performables, and Magicians.
Yeah,
it's really, really good.
Great card.
Like 18 beat sticks. It's got a good body. It's crazy good. But right now, I'm just really considering my options here. There's two back row. I know that there's no mistake in Nekroz, so I don't have to worry about my search option being like killed.
Yeah, I think you have Pendulum Call too, but you're going to opt to play the Eccentric Archfiend first to test the back row.
Yes. So Eccentric Archfiend gets dropped. I'm really just... The only thing I'm really worried about is Emptiness.
Yeah, so I'm actually thinking here right now is I have Emptiness and MST, and I'm going to MST the Eccentric Archfiend because I don't want it to be dead when you play Pendulum Call. It's actually something that's happened before, and we've played this matchup quite a bit, so I know to just play the MST when I can.
So Eccentric Archfiend probably gets killed by the MST, and that was a good way to protect the Emptiness. However, I did have Pendulum Call, so I am going to get Dragon Pit Magician and Dragon Peasant Magician.
Yeah, so the dragons, one of them pops monsters and one of them pops spells. The one that pops spells is way more important, and here he's going to get both of them. Well, he's going to get one of the vanillas.
One of them. I'm getting one of them.
Yeah.
The other card I'm getting is Dragon Peasant. The one that pops monsters would actually be a pretty decent card against the Nekroz matchup anyway, because it forces them to actually lose monsters, for one thing. It's a free monster clear. So that's the one on the table is Dragon Pit, which is the Spell Trap Destroyer. And instead of adding the Dragon Pulse, or I guess Dragon Vein or Dragon Pulse, whichever you want to call it, I add Dragon Peasant, which is the one that recovers a card. This card's much better if there's Insight, because the moment you dump it or use Insight, you can just kind of add Insight back to your hand.
Yeah, so you're going to play both. I'm going to flip Emptiness right away here, and it's very important that I do, because otherwise I'll get popped pointlessly. But right now I want him to pop it, because I want him to dump a Majespecter card from his hand in order to pop it. And that this way, when he Pendulum summons, he will only be able to get two, the one in his hand and the Eccentric Archfiend on the extra deck.
So I start with the Pendulum summon. Slight misplay on my part, or just procedural error once again.
Yeah,
keep on forgetting, like, whenever you put a Pendulum monster in the extra deck, I sometimes forget that they're there.
You forget it's
Especially
free.
when
I think I actually
Nekroz.
remind you.
Yeah, you remind me that I got like that.
Yeah.
I wanted 2 monsters, but I don't know why I only summoned 1. Started the same.
Yeah.
And here's my really, really clumsy shuffling. 2 shuffles in a row. Oh my god, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, totally. How many years of TCG experience you have? Shuffles.
0. That just shows you
that's
I'm a
like
total
the scrub shuffle.
So I added a Majespecter Unicorn. Unicorn is like a monster Pleiades that has to bounce 1 card on my side and 1 card on your side. So
Yeah.
I can only bounce pendulum cards.
Yeah, so I have the option of actually using
Trish.
to stop this Valk from being destroyed, but it's a little pointless because he'll just return it to my hand anyways, and I want the empty board, and the drawing is not exactly that great since I have 2 cards that I want to keep in my hand right now.
So now I attack for 2k. Unicorn. Unicorn is the strongest Majespecter monster, and it's very useful because it can be activated during either player's turn. That's really, really, really good effect. It's really good for interrupting people that are trying to like exceed, like get all the extra deck monsters, like Shaddoll fusion monster, just shuffle it back in.
Yeah, exactly.
It really makes it very difficult.
Unicorn is real. It's actually the scariest card on their deck, and it's actually saying something because Majespecters are all very small. Unicorn is the biggest threat, along with their very scary back row.
Now I have a full scale. Still, I have no cards in hand because I know he has Trish.
Yeah, I'm going to actually look to summon the Decisive Armor here, which I would have summoned anyways if I searched it, but in this case I drew it. So I'm going to look to summon it because he has that back row. I can summon it easily with Shrit, and I can hold the Trishula in my hand, so in case there's any removals, so that I can just straight up negate it.
So Nekroz Mirror has been searched, now it's getting played. Shrit has been banished for the cost, and Decisive Armor is dropped. Now, Decisive Armor is 33, so it's very, very strong, and it's good for clearing set cards. So it activates it. I chain Breakthrough Skill, so I don't lose the Breakthrough Skill
so
completely.
it doesn't get banished. Yeah. But here you actually have the option of bouncing my Decisive Armor, but I feel like it's not that great of a play.
No.
Because bouncing Decisive Armor will let me banish Exa and Mirror in the graveyard, search, cycle, and then Exa will summon Shrit, and then I can cycle and Trish him.
Yeah.
And I can remove the scale, his hand, his Unicorn in his hand, and something in the grave.
Yeah, that would have been a suicide play if I just bounced it back.
Yeah, it's smart to actually just let it die here.
So on the attack, I'm checking his grave and everything just to make sure I'm not like being a total idiot here. Because one little play could just turn the whole game around. Nope,
Yeah,
let it die. Let it die.
Smart plays just let it die, and he does the smart play.
It would have been crazy if I just no, you can have it back. So I just top decked an Apex Avian here, and this is what kind of seals the deal. So when you don't break the scale, here's a clear example.
If you don't
break
break the scale, and if you don't have Unicorn, as I said before, on the board, these late game or mid game pendulum summons will absolutely destroy you, and this is exactly what happens here.
So Apex Avian, negate all, of course, really crazy. And now I have Eccentric Archfiend, Raccoon for a search. If I had the other guys, like if I had a Fox here, I get a Fox search. And I think I will get the Fox search since I did not normal summon right now.
Yeah. So you're going to normal summon that, and I think here I'm looking at my hand. I know I have Trishula, I know he's going to Eccentric Archfiend my Decisive Arbor, and I'm probably going to Trishula it because then he'll have to use Unicorn and return the Decisive Armor to my hand before destroying it. So he can also use Apex Avian, but at this point I'm just trying to survive, and I think after doing life points it might actually just be game regardless.
So you're at 6k. If after the Unicorn bounce, adding the Fox and the Apex Avian, that's about over 4k, and then the Unicorn there is another 2k, so that's about 6k.
Yeah, it's gonna be game.
It's gonna be game.
It's actually pointless for me to play that Trishula. I should have just scooped, but I didn't really look at life points.
Yeah, I said a Tempest, and then if I
I think we're both surprised that was lethal.
Just didn't because Majespecters are relatively small. You don't really expect game damage.
Yeah, you're not really scared of getting OTK'd very frequently. So it looks like we're gonna go into game 2 here. We're just gonna shuffle out and do some siding. So sideboard against Majespecters, you want cards like Royal Decree. It's a great card. Shared Riders is okay too because they search a lot, and of course my secret tech, which you'll see very shortly. Well, not very shortly, but you will see in this game.
Yeah, like for me, siding in Lancia buys you a full turn, and if you get a full turn with your scale intact, it's more or less just it's pot of greed because you get to research a lot of your cards that you already used.
Every Majespecter in your extra deck or in your hand when you pendulum summon becomes a pot of greed essentially.
Yeah, it's really, really insane. So another card that's good for siding would be, of course, Mind Crush. Mind Crush is always good.
Yeah, so here you might see a little weird that I use Herald and then I dump the Brio to start Trish. It's because I want to set up the graveyard so that I can play Trish. I don't have Shrit in hand, so I can banish the Clausolis and Brio for Trish if I need to.
So a 3 set on the back row. That's quite a lot for like, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be... Oh, Shared Ride.
Shared Ride is now actually coming into hand right now. It's really handy. I'm adding using Summoner's Art to add the level 7 Dragon Pit Magician. So the Spell Trap Popper.
Yeah, hopefully to clear up some of my back row here.
It's very difficult to really consider playing it because the only thing you can discard for the cost of Dragon Pit are Pendulum cards.
Yeah.
So it's just a little cost.
Actually, even if you Pendulum summon a bunch of Majespecters and you choose to search into Shared Ride, it's not even that big of a deal because it actually evens out at a point.
So Dragon Pulse or Dragon Vein, whichever you want to call it, has been dropped. This is a decent scale. It's for TCG anyways without Insight Magician. This Dragon Vein definitely gets a little more credit for its ability because there's not much to search right now. Yeah. So I actually use Dragon Vein's Magician or Dragon Vein's effect to try to pop the Unicorn, but that failed.
Trish.
I think I had 2 foxes in my hand, which is why I didn't really care about losing 1 fox.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it right there.
So you're going to go ahead and Pendulum summon a bunch. Actually, holding the Unicorn on the board is not exactly very great. I think I do it just to prevent a lot of damage because none of his effects will get negated because he has nothing from the extra deck.
So Pendulum summon 2. So Fox will now get a search for a trap.
I'm going to draw with Shared Ride.
And that trap is Majespecter Tornado, which is like a Karma Cut.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty free.
Pretty free.
And there's actually something interesting about this board because that Dragon Peasant Magician is also a wind spellcaster. I can use it as part of my cost for Tornado. Even if, say, Oscar ram into my Fox thinking that it would be okay, then no, I still have another.
Yeah, all they require is wind spellcasters, which Majespecter, the Pendulum Magicians, and Fortune Lady Wind, which might see play in the future as just a generic removal.
Oh, but the Royal Decree gets flipped. My back row is now stunned.
Yeah, Royal Decree great in this matchup, as basically can't do anything. I have complete reign on the board right now. I'm going to play Manju. He can't do anything. He looks his back row. It's pointless.
Yeah. So this is the only point where I would consider playing the quick play Majespecter Cyclone, which is tribute 1 to destroy a monster. That's a pretty decent card, but yeah. I kind of don't want to run
It's not very optimal, but maybe in the sideboard.
Yeah, it's a side. Like, you can consider it a sideboarding, like, some of the Majespecter spells and traps just to, like, change up your lineup for different matchups, because they are really good. Now, what's going on here?
I think I have a lot of options here with that Manju, which I think I drew into. So, top dicks for the win.
Yeah, I think the scariest monster in like the long-term matchup would probably be Unicorn. Unicorn being able to shut down the late game.
Yeah.
As long as you can survive the early game, saving your Unicorn will definitely... Oh, prep rights as well.
Very good hand on my part. I just get everything I want then, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm actually looking to either kill him or remove a lot of his scale here.
Yeah, I'm not under Pendulum Call right now.
After you run over their monsters with Decree up, you really want to remove their scale. Letting them keep the scale is essentially just delaying the game. The longer the game goes is actually worse for you.
And here comes Exciton. I think it's Exciton.
Is it Exciton? I don't know. I might have a second.
No, it's Castell.
Yeah, I want to keep the Royal Decree on the board. It's actually more important.
Yeah, and then you just redrop your Unicorn right there, just so that I can't, get anything out of my extra deck or gain any like advantage. Of course, that was the proper order to play it. Don't just spam monsters. Just do your plays.
Yeah, if I played the Unicorn first, it would have been
been able
big misplay.
You can't Castell.
Yeah,
or you would have to use your 2 Unicorns.
Yeah,
that'd be terrible.
So Decisive Armor.
Decisive Armor. Oh my god, I am actually about to take a ton of damage.
I basically just want a ton of damage. It's pretty much the ideal setup here. I don't think I have any other targets.
It's very difficult for me to actually get out of this unless I have like a Raigeki or something. If I get a Raigeki, it would be pretty good.
Yeah, but Raigeki in the new format is quite iffy just because Majespecters can't be destroyed at all.
Yeah.
And hit a warning.
Yeah, well,
Warning was pretty optimal.
Warning was already stunned.
Yeah. Still pretty good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be banished. But,
So this is the ideal board that you have. The only thing better for the Nekroz in this matchup would be if you had Trishula or Ganir in hand. And I actually side out Ganir in game 2 because it's not exactly the greatest.
Alright, top decked. Something. Oh, Skullcrobat. I can complete my scale. Which is nice.
Definitely nice. We'll buy you a turn.
But the sad part is, Skullcrobat is like, I don't have a Majespecter Raccoon. If I had a Majespecter Raccoon at this play, it would have been my most ideal, like, I guess, counter. Because right now, I don't have anything that could use my Pendulum Scale to pop any of Oscar's monsters.
Yeah, he has nothing in hand.
If I had the, like, I just searched a Dragon Pit, I can't use Dragon Pit's effect to pop that Royal Decree. If I could have popped that Royal Decree, then I would have a live trap.
And he also can't add anything on Majespecter because of Unicorn, so it's actually like a soft lock here. So you're just going to Pendulum Summon everything. I think it's just so you don't take damage.
Yeah, it's more or less just to not take damage here. Not strong enough. Like, I have 2 level 4 spellcasters, but I don't have, like, a very strong extra deck monster that can actually deal with that Unicorn.
Yeah, I think you're actually just going to run over the Castel. It's probably worth it in the long run for you.
Yeah. There's not much I can really do. Like, even if I overlaid into... Like, the moment I overlay, it seems a bit pointless.
Yeah, you lose the monsters that could be potentially chump blocking. I feel like it would just be better to hold it. Unless, of course, you can remove the board. But the Unicorn prevents cards like Excitement. And I drew into my secret tech. You're going to see it here. The top decks is real with the Nekroz. It's going to be Wavering Eyes. That's what I have sided. And it's actually really good in these Pendulum matchups because you can chain it on their turn, or you can also use it to draw when you draw it on your turn. You draw it and then you add Archfiend Eccentric, which lets you clear up his back row or any monsters or any more scales that he has.
Scary.
It's a really good combo. Unfortunately, it's a little dead sometimes in the extra deck when you're not playing against Pendulum decks, but I think it's going to be very good in the future.
Oh, time to get wrecked. Take a ton of damage. Well, not that much damage.
Yeah. Basically, I'm just removing your board, and actually I'm going to think about playing Wavering Eyes here right now, because I don't want you to top deck your own Wavering Eyes and chain it on mine. So, and I also don't want you to get your Pendulum Scales. Oh, it looks like I actually don't do that. I don't do that at all, actually.
Wavering Eyes!
I just play it. I think I misplay here, but it's not going to matter because he doesn't draw Wavering Eyes.
If I can only your tail, I'll top deck the Apex Avian. The game is over. Like, I don't have enough turn. That's pretty much it for game 2. It's like, if you get Wavering Eyes, that's just what some people would tech. Everyone technically running. It's more or less a spell shattering arrow.
Yeah, it's more like spell shattering or.
Well, if you don't run any like, I guess if you don't run any like Pendulum cards yourself, you could consider spell shattering arrow. It does the same thing, does more damage.
Yeah, actually something important here is that it actually searches the Archfiend Eccentric, which can keep...
Yeah, and once you get the Archfiend Eccentric search, you can more or less clear more back row, or if they re-establish scales later on, you can have the option to remove that as well.
Looks like we're going into game 3 here.
Alright, just fixing up the sides here.
Yeah. And I think I'm just going to keep my deck pretty much the same. I want to just draw into the Decree early game, set up the Unicorn, get some big beaters, and hopefully draw into Wavering Eyes to seal the game. That would be the ideal draw as what happened in game 2.
A really troll way to play Majespecter. It's really annoying is you use Moon Mirror Shield. Because I have to say this, like, some people started to use it because of Turbo Towers, because it does run over towers. But for Majespecters, because they have built-in safe zone, it just makes it that much more.
Yeah, you just really like that card, don't you? You just want it to happen.
No, well, it was a legit play. It was like, if I were to play No Fun Zone again, I would use Majespecter monster, just because they have built-in safe zone.
Yeah, of course.
And then Moon Mirror Shield. You have to clear Moon Mirror Shield to even fight me.
Yeah, it's actually a little annoying how to clear their monsters. You can't destroy them, you can't target them. It makes a lot of cards non-optimal. Cards like Effect Veiler, almost pointless. Breakthrough Skill, pretty pointless. And these Effect Negation is actually something you want to, because you want to negate Unicorn, but you can't target it, and you want to negate their extra deck, but I mean, it's kind of pointless if you draw it. It's not very good.
So cards like Skill Drains and Unicorns, they're really, really good against this deck.
Yeah.
Like, I think Unicorn is probably the most important card, because mid to late game is where my deck thrives. Like, Shrines, and Unicorns is the one card to shut it off. And being 23, it's hard for me to run it over unless I use the Majespecter field spell.
Looks like we're just shuffling here.
Alright.
We're gonna pile shuffle some more. Nope.
I'll just cut this part. Alright, now we're cutting each other's decks. I think we're beginning game 3 here. And I will be going first in this one.
Yeah, it's definitely better for him to go first. He wants to set up against me and don't let me get out the big beaters or set cards like Decree.
It really depends because I'm running triple Apex Avian in my build. Getting Apex Avian during any time of play is also really good, and drawing the 6th card, helps with the odds.
Pretty solid.
And if I get Pendulum Call while top decking, it's also really good too.
It looks like I actually have Decree in my hand. It's unfortunate that I didn't go first, so I can't set it because he actually has cards like Solemn Warning.
So apparently I can't set up my skill, so I start off with a Raccoon. Raccoon's not bad. Search. My most common search would be Unicorn.
Yeah.
Unicorn is just useful by itself. It doesn't require a back row to support it, which is why it's one of the more useful ones.
Definitely a very useful card.
Eccentric Archfiend.
You're gonna play your scale.
Apparently I'm playing my scale.
You're gonna force that. Archfiend Eccentric on the scale right now is a little iffy, especially because I have a clear board. You can't use it to Pendulum and then clear my back
my
row.
scale in here is really awful right now. It's a 7 of 5. I can only summon 6s right now.
It's okay though because you can get rid of the Archfiend Eccentric basically whenever.
Yeah, but scale 5 is a little iffy. So I set 2 cards. No, one of my set cards is a Mind Crush. Even though I have no cards in hand, I can use Unicorn to bounce my Raccoon back to hand and then Mind Crush.
And then Mind Crush.
This is how
I'm actually reading Mind Crush here because I know what he's sided. And Mind Crush is a very useful card. He's gonna warning.
Yeah, I do not want Mantra to get searches, and I can't really do it to your spells anyways. If I do it to your spells, it's a minus for me.
Yeah, and I'm really sitting there and thinking to myself, I really wish I went first. I really wish I could have set this Decree, but I need to set this Decree before I make any of my plays unless I get punished. If I get punished and I have Decree in hand, it's going to be really bad for me.
Alright, so Rhoda has been played.
Shrit.
I can't really Mind Crush him right now. I don't have a hand.
Yeah, he doesn't have a hand, but he will very shortly.
So there's the cycle.
Yeah.
For Shrit, for Valk. Okay, I was like, okay, you got your Valk out.
Yeah, he's gonna let that through.
I'm gonna not let him get the draw because letting Oscar get the draw right now is not good for me. So I'm gonna use the Unicorn's effect to bounce my Raccoon and his Valk. So he's still searching for
And now it enables Mind Crush. And I've realized this. I've realized, oh crap, he has a card in his hand now. He's gonna have Mind Crush. What do I do? And this is actually a very pivotal moment for me.
This is like a very...
I can go into Kaleido Unicorn play here, but it would be almost pointless because I'm guaranteed to get punished, especially with that back row. Even if it's just a normal Majespecter back row, I'll still get punished. So
Majespecter back rows are still very strong. There's no useless.
I definitely need to set that Decree here, and I realized this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna play 3-card Monty with him because I know he has that Archfiend Eccentric that can pop any of my back row. I'm gonna set a card, bluff it, and then reset a couple of cards to hopes he doesn't hit the Decree.
So you set a card here, you move your deck, you shuffle.
Yeah, I pick it up, shuffle it, which is actually normal. A lot of players do it.
I don't know. I thought that was
the game state has not changed. We've discussed this. The game state has not changed, and it's completely okay for me to do this. But actually,
I didn't think it was okay.
I set the Decree first, and I picked it up, and then I set a Kaleido or one of the ritual spells.
I did not see that he swapped the card here. Like I didn't see him switching the card.
The game state actually doesn't change.
I just saw him move the deck, and then I didn't realize it was like, he switched the card because I was gonna eccentric the center card anyway. Yeah.
Either way, the card in the middle is completely random. The other 2 cards have a higher probability because I searched the mirror after. So the Decree could either be any one of those 3 cards.
So now I Mind Crush. I got rid of the Valk. Probably should have gotten rid of the Unicorn instead, because the Valk is actually not that scary.
Unicorn will actually enable my plays next turn with Kaleido.
Yeah, that was my misplay. And then, like, missing what I want to do is I'm gonna try to use Raccoon. I guess I'll start with Raccoon to get a Fox. Because I already have the...
At the very end of your turn, you realize that if it's Decree, you're basically screwed. So you're going to use the Archfiend Eccentric at the end of your turn. Because you know those face downs are either chainable or absolutely pointless, or a Decree. You're going to target the middle one because I set that one first. I don't know, a little debatable, a little toss-up. Let us know in the comments if you feel like I cheated him. I don't think it was because the game state didn't change, and I still set a card that was in my hand anyways. A lot of players do it, especially for an exhibition match. It's not a big deal. But anyways, let us know if you feel like I cheated him or not.
That was good. That was some crazy misdirection right there.
Yeah, it was basically me playing. And I actually did that intentionally. I set the Decree first, and I swapped it with a Ritual Spell in my hand. So I did that purposely.
I lost my train of thought halfway through because of that. I was like, what do I want to hit?
Yeah,
and here I pointed out.
Here he's debating which one it is and which one he wants to pot with Archfiend Eccentric.
I should have rolled the die. Probably would have had a better chance by rolling it.
Yeah, that's what I do in really pivotal random selections. I always just roll a dice. I mean,
I went for the center one, so I hit the Kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. That's not good.
I will be able to search it, and then phase, I'm just going to flip Decree.
So because of that, I actually forgot to put my Fox on the scale.
Yeah, actually, there's a misplay here.
That was my biggest misplay because this.
Now.
I was holding on. I forgot about it, and when I missed, I think I just went on a little tilt there, and this is gonna cost me quite a bit. I have a card in hand, and Trishula, of course, does not target.
Yeah, and I actually drew Senju in my hand, which is very, very good.
Well, let's see what happens with this play here. Starts off with the Senju.
I think I'm going to go for Trish here because you have that card in your hand. And I know you can bounce the monsters with Unicorn, but Trishula's effect will activate and resolve anyways. And especially if you Decree up, you're not going to have any effect negation.
Well, if I want to save a monster, then that's what I would do. But there's no real point in bouncing a card because it's going to get lost. I know I'm going to use the raccoons. No, I'm looking at my dead trap. It's kind of sad, quite sad. It's a Majespecter Tornado.
Yeah, you searched it, I think. But the card in your hand is really what's killing you. It's enabling Trish.
Like,
and just
playing it would have made
it would have changed
the game quite a bit.
It would have changed the line of play for sure. And I feel like this game, it's still a toss-up whether you play it or not, but it definitely would have been in your favor or a better position than it is right now.
Alright, so right now the adding of a...
I'm going to get Mirror, or not going to get Cycle because I actually set the Mirror that I added from the turn before. Or I'm going to choose to get something else completely randomly because it's Herald right now.
Yeah, definitely should have... Like, that Mind Crush was quite crucial.
Yeah. I'm probably going to search Valkyrie, and I think at this point I realized that I wish I played 2 Trishes because then I could protect my monsters from Unicorn. But I don't play 2 Trishula on this build, and I've actually taken out Gungnir and put it into the sideboard, so it's a little pointless at this point. I can't search anything that'll protect my monsters, so I might just get a Valkyrie or something contingency like Unicorn. It's quite a long search.
He's trying to figure out how to kill me.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible this turn.
No,
because you have the Unicorn. Yeah, I think I'm doing math here.
I got enough damage to block off lethal. Like, I don't think I am even hurt.
Yeah, even with Trish. Yeah, I'm showing him what I searched with Senju.
Oh my god. What could possibly go wrong? Like, not setting that Fox means I lose 2 cards on the field. Like, more essentially 2 cards on the field, because I did want that Fox on the scale. But you're adding Valk.
Yeah, I'm just going to add some protection here.
This is
actually, Unicorn would not give me any contingency because I've already burned both my Kaleidos, which is why I think I choose not to add it.
Alright, so the mirror has been activated, and I am about to get Trished. There's a Shrit there, and it is going to be Trish. Trish is going to... I'm going to chain onto Trish to bounce back one of my cards here. So I am definitely bouncing back my...
Yeah, I think you're gonna bash.
And I'm getting rid of the Unicorn. Yeah. Just because if he doesn't banish everything completely, I could still maintain the scale.
Yeah, if he gets the scale, the Archfiend Eccentric is going to give him a lot of help. I banished that Mind Crush because fuck it, I hate Mind Crush.
So he does hit... I guess my raccoons, which is not my ideal targets.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep the raccoon just because raccoon was a +1 on the monster, so I can actually kind of reset the scale. But nope, now I have to take a bunch of damage. I'll take 700 from Trish, and then I'll take another 14 from the Senju.
Yeah. Senju's a little dead here. It's going to get run over pretty easily next turn, and I really wish I could have made a rank 4 toolbox if I had to, but Unicorn on the board was probably better. But it got removed anyway. It's not a big deal.
So I just top decked a Pendulum
Call. Ooh.
Not good enough because the thing is, my raccoons were all banished.
Yeah, and actually here, even if you play Pendulum Call, you can't remove my Decree because you just don't have enough cards in your hand.
But thanks to Unicorn bouncing a card back, I was able to save one card in my hand, thus not making me die right on the next turn. So I summoned... Oh, I actually had the raccoon. No, I got my Fox banished, sorry.
Yeah.
So now I search. Something that I will have to throw out. But seeing that I already have a Unicorn in my extra deck, I decided to add a Unicorn for the dumping purposes.
Yeah, you can clear a lot of my board actually, but it's gonna boil down to if I can reestablish board control on the next turn with a Unicorn.
So Pendulum Call has been activated, discarding the Unicorn. Unfortunately, my extra deck isn't really that established.
Yeah, well, you still have that Archvenus Centric there. You're gonna be able to clear the Trishula for sure.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not good enough because Decree is still there. My traps aren't very strong, and my monsters aren't very strong because I right now do not have an Apex Avian.
Yeah, the most crucial matchup dynamic here is that Decree is face up, his back row is locked, and his monsters are small and he can't OTK me, which means I get another turn under Decree.
Unfortunately here, this is not an ideal play. Just because I can't use my scale effects. I can't use Dragon Pulse, I can't use Dragon Pit.
Yeah.
So all I can do is Pendulum Summon.
Still not a terrible position for you. You still have plays, you still have options. Your extra deck monsters will get their effects. It's not a bad position, but it could have been better.
It could have been way better if I did not get Trish.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the most pivotal. I think that misplay right there cost me the entire game.
Yeah, that was the pivotal moment of this game. But you're going to destroy my Trish.
Well, I'm just trying to see if I can hold on and see what I can do.
Yeah.
Right? So, Trish is dead. I can do a swing at most.
Yeah, you're going to take some damage from me. I have Valk in hand, though, if I want to protect it. I don't think I do, just because I want the mirror access.
Yeah.
I have Unicorn, and I could get Unicorn out, possibly, with just adding another Unicorn to my hand and then adding Kaleido from the grave.
I wasn't thinking too thoroughly through this point. I was like, he already lost both Kaleido, so what am I gonna
top deck for the second time Senju? A very, very good top deck. Actually, that'll let me enable that Unicorn Kaleido play.
Yeah, I think without that Senju, I would have been actually be able to come back. But
yeah.
I think that Senju really just sealed the deal there.
Yeah, I think without that Senju draw, if I drew something dead, it would have been a little 50-50, I guess. But that Senju draw, I think, just sealed the game at this point. So right now I'm thinking of plays. I want to kill him this turn. I don't want him to get another turn because then his Pendulum Scale would pop my Decree. So I'm definitely thinking of ways to kill him. Unicorn. I need to get Unicorn out on the board because then Unicorn won't be able to stop me from putting monsters on the board. And I've been thinking for a while now. I'm going to look to make a play here. Every single card and search is crucial because if I make a procedural error, I won't be able to win.
Yeah, it's actually quite significant. I'm at 39 right now, and I probably should have paid more attention to my life points. Not only that, I probably should have remembered that Unicorn was summoned out from the extra deck, and if a Unicorn gets on board, I won't be able to bounce anything. It's unfortunate, but I am, like, near the point of death. One, I don't have very many cards. If I can actually survive, though, I still have my Pendulum Skill, which is really nice. But if he gets a Unicorn out, I can't exactly do anything about it.
And I actually banished Trish here to get a mirror because I realized I don't need that Trish anymore to win the game.
Senju is summoned. I should have bounced that Senju.
Yeah.
I wasn't calculating damage.
Yeah. It's a small misplay here, not bouncing the Senju. It's not exactly, it's kind of a hindsight, not a very obvious play to bounce the Senju to survive. I mean, why would you bounce Senju and give me another search next turn, right? It's pointless, except for the hindsight of dying.
There is no next turn.
Yeah. You shortly realize that there won't be a next turn as you're going to die right now.
The bounce should have happened. Probably would have saved me.
Yeah. It definitely would have saved you here. I didn't have lethal without bouncing.
So there's the unicorn.
Yeah, and unicorn is negated.
That's really annoying.
Unicorn.
Konami, just keep consistent with your naming. No, my unicorn was from the extra deck.
Yeah,
so now it's negated by unicorn.
I was verifying that it was from the extra deck, and he can't negate me, or he can't bounce something because of unicorn on the board. And now I think I'm just gonna kill him and summon that Valk now.
Yep, I am pretty screwed. I don't think I can deal with this just because now I can't bounce anymore, so I missed my opportunity to just take off some of the damage and get rid of a monster body that is is effectively just gonna kill me.
Yeah, it's gonna do that last bit of damage with Cowboy. That 14 and the Cowboy 800 burn with Unicorn and Senju will kill him.
I can't really do anything. I know you can. I know you have plays.
Basically taking my sweet time here.
Oh boy. So adding
Great Sorcerer.
Great Sorcerer.
Yeah, because I can play Mirror Tribute the Great Sorcerer and the Unicorn Grave to summon Valk.
Here we go. Banish Unicorn, tribute the Great Sorcerer. Great Sorcerer will probably just add you. I think you already sided out the Gugnir, so it's probably going to be either a Unicorn or a Valk.
It's a little irrelevant here. I have lethal on board. I'm not sure why I'm searching so long. I actually don't think I realized I have lethal.
You went with.
No, there we go. Now I'm telling him.
Your calculator. I'm pretty screwed. I don't think I can do anything about this, but.
Yeah, so it's unfortunately he's gonna get locked in our decree. Just a quick note to our viewers here. I don't believe that this matchup is favorable for Nekroz, even though I win. It's not a great matchup, and unless I draw cards like Decree, which I side 3 of in my sideboard, the matchup is almost impossible to win because the back row is actually very scary.
Well, that's it for this game. Well, there's a lot of things I kind of learned during the play, which is when you're on tilt, don't forget to finish your play, because it's quite crucial that you don't screw up like that. Yeah, if that didn't happen, I probably could have survived that Trish play, and then I would have top decked the Pendulum Call anyway.
Yeah, definitely that game was
that would have been
for
like
you
really
to win.
Different. That was very different. That was totally my misplay, and I played it poorly. Yeah, being a total scrub.
But he tilted because I 3-card Monty'd him.
Yeah, that Monty.
The mind games. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some insight on Majespecters.
This is not the Majespecter on release. If you're gonna play Majespecter on release, play it as like
the Luster build, I think.
Yeah, the Luster build. Just a full pure build until you can actually mix and match. Yeah. Well, that's it for this video. If you guys like this video, please give us a thumbs up.
If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe.
And don't forget to leave a comment down below of like some of the things that
did I cheat him? Did I really cheat
misplay? Like my misplays were pretty obvious. Yeah. Like I caught him now. Like I think we were playing League of Legends till like 4 AM the day before.
Yeah, so we're both really tired here. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time.
Don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.